Okay. And so here's the program of our meeting. First part of our meeting is what we call Q&A. This is why we wanted to have a chance to ask a question, and you have a minute or two to answer the question. Okay. And then after you answer the question, you will ask someone else that hasn't been asked. And then I will be the last one to be picked, but I'm going to be the first one who's going to ask the question. Okay. And then so after that Q&A, we're going to have what we call the expert section. We're going to have a topic, and everybody gets to chime in on what they think about the topic, you know, to get to know more about your expertise level. And then the third one is what we call business share time. This is where we get to know your challenges in your business, your goals, your specific goals, or any success stories that you wanted to share that we can understand your accomplishments in your business. And then lastly, we're going to do some collaboration, find opportunities that we can all work together. Sounds good? That is the format of our meeting. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to start the question. I'm going to ask Kurt. Kurt, your business says Boomerang Car Nets. Can you please give us a short overview information of what that is and what is so special about it in 1 or 2 minutes, okay?
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome.
Boomerang Carnes is an international insurance agency that specializes in customs bonds, customs import bonds, and a very obscure product called the ATA Carnet. And the ATA Carnet is a internationally recognized customs document for temporary importations of goods for the purpose of showing commercial samples or goods that are used as tools of the trade, i.e. professional equipment, or goods that are going to an overseas trade show or exhibition. And if you take an example of, everyone knows the Rolling Stones rock and roll band. Well, when they go on a world tour, they get an ATA Carnet. Actually, they get about 20 of them for their touring purposes, and they put their their instruments on it, their lighting, sound, stage, all their equipment to make a production, and it's around usually a $20 million value. If they didn't have a carnet, they would have to pay the import duty and tax for each country they performed in. And it's used by symphony orchestras, it's used by manufacturers. And we've been in the business in the US for about 35 years. And we're the only ATA Carnet service provider in the world that is in 2 countries, the US and the UK.
Okay.
So it's a great trade tool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Kurt. Now, your turn to ask a question to someone else in the group.
I'll ask fellow Wilson, Rolanda, and I'm assuming you're in the financial services business.
Well, almost the financial services industry. I'm actually in the real estate industry.
Oh, okay.
But
what's your question for Rolanda?
Well, I just answered my question. I was going to ask her, does she do any work internationally?
Okay.
Unfortunately, no, we don't do. We're located in California in the San Francisco area.
I used to live out there.
It's cold today.
It's snowing in Chicago, so no pity.
You want to expand that, Rolanda, because you have a minute or two to share your information.
Sure. So we provide full service real estate services to our investors. We also serve first-time home buyers. So we help first-time home buyers get into their homes. We help our investors purchase investment property. We look at the ROI and we actually maintain it. So that means we manage the property after it's purchased, and then we're there to sell it when they're ready to either do a deferred 1031 exchange, defer the capital gains, or just to sell it outright.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, Rolanda. Okay, who is your next person?
How about Ben?
Okay,
Hey, Ben.
How's it going? What
Good,
can
how are
what can I
you?
answer?
Well, tell me, what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Ben Cloud. I'm a 16-year-old entrepreneur, and I'm the chief executive officer of Cloud's Coffee Company. And what makes our coffee so special is that it is specialty grade, and specialty grade is a term for the highest grade of coffee available. So it's the top 3% of coffee grown. It's all hand picked. It's all 100% organic. It never comes into contact with fertilizers or pesticides. And the coffee is also shipped out the same day it's roasted. So, with that being said, I'm targeting, the whole foods, the organic people. And that is kind of the little spiel of my business.
awesome. Wow, thank you, Ben. That was
Yeah.
amazing. So who would you like to ask a question next?
James, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do?
We got two Jameses. You want Fu or you want James Watson?
Oh, I'll ask you, James Watson.
Okay. And by the way, the other James just goes by Fu. So that, which he likes anyway, but it also helps us out. But yeah, so did you have a specific question?
Yeah. Just tell me a little bit about what you do. I see a Sales Catapult
So
background.
Yep, Sales Catapult's the name of my company that I started in June. And I'm part of a larger network called Sales Acceleration. And what I am is a fractional vice president of sales. And so I come into companies, small to mid-sized businesses, kind of in the $1 to $50 million range that can't yet afford to have a full VP of sales or sales leader, but they need help. So either in scaling their business, from the beginning and setting up a foundation of repeatable and predictable processes, or the other side of it is they've been around for a while, a few years in, they're doing pretty well, but the CEO is still wearing, the sales hat and a lot of other hats, and is in order to go to the next level, really needs to get some help from the outside. So beyond that, in terms of where I focus, the discipline, I can work across a lot of industries based on my experience. I can do almost anything, but I'm focused into primarily my background was in software, leading software sales teams, SaaS, AI, high tech stuff.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, James. Now, James, your turn.
Okay. Let's see. Well, James Fu, I know everything about you, man. Not quite. We haven't gone to Christy Day.
Well, hello, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Christy?
I'm good. Thank
So
you.
quite a few people I haven't met here yet. So I guess I'll ask you two questions. Number one, what is your focus? And number two, what are your objectives or kind of changes, that you want to implement for 2022?
So my focus is really right now is management and culture in business, all businesses to be honest, but I do have a strength in healthcare, and I'm not even off the ground yet. So I'm really new to it and still starting to build it, just kind of networking and stuff like that. So my goal for 2022 is to actually get it off the ground and just grow as soon as I can. And that's it.
That is amazing. Thank you, Christy. Okay, Christy,
Thank
your
you.
turn.
And my turn. What about Jessica?
Right on cue with getting my camera on. Okay, what's the question?
So tell me a little bit about what you do and what your business is.
Sure. So just so everyone knows, I'm one of the members of Fire Up Connect. So you'll see a handful of us here, the kind of resident Fire Up Connectors. And I represent the business dev space with Joyful Development Group. And I specialize in joint venture brokering, relationship management, and basically just being a connector, connect the dots kind of liaison. So I have the pleasure of working with some of you here, and for all the new faces, welcome. And we're happy you're here before the holidays.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right,
You're
Jessica, your turn.
welcome. Okay, who has not gone yet? Let's see. Who can I pick on? Did you go, Fu, or did they just, no, you didn't go
Not
yet.
yet, not yet.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, I'll pick on you. What is something that you, at the beginning of the year, might have been like a hurdle for you, but now at the end of the year, you see it as like a positive thing? What spun around for you?
What, there's so many things, so it's hard to say, but I feel I guess my confidence and like even like PR itself because I'd say my confidence because like I was so like confident that I could do it, but like I was kind of like feeling like way too confident without having proof of like I don't know, like I quit my job and then I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then policy change and stuff. And I didn't account for that. And there was just a downward spiral. And then that forced me to level up. So like, in a way, it was like, you know, I was like confident, but at the same time, it affect me. I would like, and then like I rose from that. And then PR itself, because like PR was, it seemed like the opportunity to do like, oh, this is something like great and innovative and different and something that can provide a lot of value. But I didn't understand like, you know, how hard it was. And then when I got like, damn, like this is hard. There's so many changes. And like, that's why there's so much opportunity, because it's a hard field. And ended up being a blessing too, because now I talk to people, and a lot of people don't even know that this was possible and all that stuff. And I'm like, making people's dreams a reality. And that's something that, you know, even though with the struggles and me not even understanding at the beginning of the year, really truly PR, and I'm still learning, to be honest. So like really like that spun around, and I'm finishing the year with a different note on those like confidence and PR.
I love it. So you're happy. You don't have any regrets about quitting your job.
No, at first I was scared. I mean, in summer I was kind of scared because I was like, damn, like I was having trouble to sell during summer. Like everybody's on vacation. I was like in a bad place mentally. But really, I mean, I stuck with it, and you know, I end up the year with a bang and rolling to 2022 with momentum. So I'm amazed. I'm really excited.
Okay. All right,
Yay,
Sue.
awesome. Wait,
Thank
I was curious where you were gonna go with the answer. So I'm really glad though. Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Fu. Now, you have Connie to ask.
Hello.
Sorry, it was me to ask. I was like, oh, Connie, yeah, cool. That's your turn. So Connie, because I haven't seen you before, just, you know, tell me your little spill, right? Like your 90-second thing of what you do and who you are.
Well, I am a 6-time best-selling author. I helped 2 companies go to the national stage. And about a year and a half ago, I wrote a certification called Crisis Knowledge Management. And my vision is to help 30 million people be better prepared for disasters and other types of crises over the next 5 years. So the way that I do that is people go through the certification program and they become CCAM advisors, and they go out to their community. I provide them every single month free marketing materials that they can use to go out and help their community be better prepared. And it's something that they can use for both individuals as well as businesses. They take it out to churches, civic organizations, schools. I just recently got my nonprofit, and our first initiative is called Kits for Kids. And the idea being that if we provide emergency kits for kids, then just maybe their parents will decide that they should be a little bit better prepared than they are. 61% of Americans believe that they're going to be affected by some kind of a disaster or crisis over the next 3 to 5 years. And only 15 to 30% of them have any kind of preparation. So that's what I'm doing is I'm educating, and hopefully we're going to save some lives and we're going to save lots of money.
Oh, one, quick thing. So when you say crisis, do you mean like any type or like disasters, so like natural or like just kind of the essence of how to react to crisis? Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, once you understand the basics of preparedness, it can prepare you for just about any kind of crisis, especially when it comes to your business. You need to know what you need to have, whether it's a natural or man-made disaster like a mass shooting or a pandemic, but also then other types of crisis. Maybe there's something internally that's happened with the business or with your life. And the course really covers enough to be able to help people. And every single month you get new information. So when you're out there helping your community be better prepared, then who are they going to call when they're looking for your services? They're going to call on the person that they know and that cares about the community. So it's a great marketing tool. And I have a new book coming out in 2 weeks. It's my 6th book. Called When the Unthinkable Happens, Be Prepared, Be Ready. And it's designed specifically for consumers and for businesses that you can take out. When you become a CCAM advisor, you actually can put a chapter in the book about why you want to become one, why you want to give back to community, and why you love the work that you do. So it makes a great marketing tool.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Connie. That was amazing. Now you get a chance to ask me a question because I think I'm the last one.
Okay. So what is your biggest goal for 2022, and what is the biggest challenge to reach that goal?
I have so many goals for next year. One of the, and I'll let you into a couple of the goals. One is I'm launching the Global Society Female Entrepreneurs chapter here in the San Diego area, which is called Mission Valley. And the second thing is I'm launching another organization called the International Wealth Builders Association. And that will be, starting January also. And I'm also launching the Fire Up Connect radio show. I am so excited about that. We've got James, the 2 James, and we have John Simon who's going to be hosting, and we have another member that is interested in being a part of that. So that just those, few things, that, and challenges for me is really not a problem. I actually love challenges because I come up with all kinds of ideas and solutions for it. So that's what I do. All right. That is our first part of our meeting. Thank you so much. That is very refreshing to know everybody's business and what you guys do. And so our next part of our meeting is what we call the expert section. This is where we are going to talk about a topic, and I'm going to, say a subject, and then everybody gets to pitch. Okay. And you'll have, since we are already looking at 322, I'm going to give each one to kind of give your thoughts in like around 30 seconds. Okay. And just give us your thoughts. So the subject would be New Year's resolution. Okay. What do you think about New Year's resolution? And what's your perspective on it? And I'm going to start with Ben.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that New Year's resolutions are great. I'm going to be honest with you. Some years I have just completely skipped over it, but I think it's a great way to do some self-reflection at the end of the year and say, hey, this is where I was the weakest. This is, how I'm going to change it. If I were to have a New Year's resolution, definitely would be to read more. I've found lots of knowledge from reading, and that's something that I would probably choose. But, as far as New Year's resolutions go, I think it's a great idea. Sometimes it's difficult to stick with, a couple months after.
Awesome. All right. What about Rolanda?
That's always the question this time of year, right?
Yes.
I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions, but I am a fan of really spending time and doing some deep soul searching and see what do I want to do different in the new year than the current year, and then start putting some plans and tools in place to be able to achieve those.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Rolanda. What about Christy?
Okay, so I think New Year's resolutions are good to a point. Is I feel like a lot of people just make them and they don't actually follow through with it. I am one of those people every year I make one, and then every year I don't even bother going on with it, to be perfectly honest. But I do think they're good because at least it gives us an idea of what we're looking for as far as how we want to grow in ourselves, whatever it may be, whether it be business or personal. And so I think it's a good idea. I think it would be better if I would actually follow through with it. But I do like it. You know.
All right, Jessica.
I think I'm on the fence about it too, because there's been years that I've had a lot of good intentions but didn't always follow through on them. But I've been reframing it like a lot of people have been doing their year in reviews, and that's been helping me see things a little bit differently, where it's more applicable and I can actually like it's just like having to-do lists where you don't put 50 things in one day because it's impossible. So if you want to set yourself up for success, I think there's just maybe some ways to rephrase some things so that it doesn't feel like if you don't accomplish it, you didn't do, like you're not enough or something. So that's just what it makes me think of, like with weight loss or something like that. So I think it's healthy to have goals, and then the other side of the coin of actually how to reach them. And if you need accountability, just making sure you have that so that you don't feel crummy when it's this time next year for 2022.
Awesome.
And then I'm thinking about a time capsule. Maybe we should make a create a time capsule and see what happens.
Okay. James, what about you? Watson.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to hang out with Connie. I want to know where you live because I want to be at your house when Armageddon hits. But besides that, I kind of agree with, with what like Rolanda and Jessica were talking about with New Year's resolutions, because I think if it's an event, it's usually so lofty or, something that people say, I'm going to do this. And then if anything, it's a letdown when they don't do it. So I kind of try to look at, what should I be doing already, like on the journey, like on a day-to-day basis. And I've already made commitments to what I want to do now. And if anything, I like looking at the New Year's. It's just to reinforce what I already know I should be doing and staying committed to it and not over committing, like doing that list of 50, make it reasonable and stick to it. And, have little wins and progress, but be consistent.
Awesome. All right. What about food?
So it's not what your resolution is it more like what it means to you? That's what I got, or right? Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. For me, really, it's just going to one year to the other, but because of like accountability and stuff, I think it's important because that way, you can set goals instead of just like, look, I'll do this from here in 20 years. I have to accomplish this. It's more like, okay, for 2022, for example, I want to do this certain things. And then by the end of Q1, I want to do this. And, you kind of go smaller and smaller and then win the day, win the week, win the month, win the quarter, win the year. So for me, it is important because not because it's all like fresh start or anything, really isn't. It's more like the motivation to make it the best year of your life. So like, okay, start in January and then like, I want to make this the best year of my life. I have 12 months, like, let's do this, right? So that's kind of the meaning of the new year for me.
Okay, awesome. Connie?
I am not a believer in New Year's resolutions. I'm a believer in creating a vision and stepping into it. So I always take a look at, okay, it's December 31st, 2022. What have I accomplished and what have I wanted to get done and how did I get it done? So you can't go to a vision, you must come from it. In order to come from it, you must become it. So what does it taste like? What's it smell like? What's it look like? What does it sound like? What's it feel like? And I've taught that for years and years and years on how to do just that. And I think it's really critically important. We don't look at what a goal is. You can't have a goal until you have a vision. So you have to do the vision first. So it's December 31st, 2022. What have I gotten done? And then from that, so then you take a vision and you go from a year, you say, okay, what is my monthly vision? What is my weekly vision? And what is my daily vision for the day? And at the end of the day, you then can celebrate that you've stepped into your vision further.
Wow, love it, Connie. That's awesome. Yay. Okay, so New Year's resolution is something that it's almost just that would just help you trigger something that you really like to do. But ultimately, it is a task that you need to complete. And we're looking at three more days before the end of the year. I would encourage everyone to list all the things that you have accomplished this year. And just, look at it, feel proud that you have completed all those tasks. And then looking at all your completed tasks, what will be the next task for next year? And look at it where you can also check those lists, okay? So I look at it as more of a task oriented for me. If I want something to do, I need to make sure that that is checked. And if I write it down, you need to make sure that it's completed because you wrote it down. It is, when you write it, it means it needs to be done, right? Okay, well, let's take 30 seconds to just write what you think about this part of our meeting. If you can put it on the chat, if you have any more thoughts, any comments, or any feedback about this section of our meeting, go ahead. We're going to take 30 seconds and just write your comments on the chat where everybody can see it too. All right. Well, thank you for your comments. That's really good to know. Sometimes when you're saying something and people might have a different perception, it's always good to get feedback. That's why we take 30 seconds to have everyone write something, and it's easier for us to be able to connect because again, our goal is to be able to establish that business relationship in 1 hour, which is, sometimes it is, it's impossible for people to do that, but we try to make that, happen here. Okay, so the next part, and Connie, I think she stepped out a little for a while here. Hopefully she'll come back. Our next part of our meeting is what we call the business share time. This is where we get to know more about you. And this is where you have an opportunity to share one of the three things, either your success story that gives us a lot of information of your accomplishments, because the reason why we want to do this is, if you want connections and referrals from people, you need to give them more information how they can, feel connected to you. And then the second thing you can share is, if you are able to, is some of the challenges that you're dealing with your business. It doesn't have to be personal, it can be specific business. And that's something that sometimes you might get some advice or recommendations from this group. And it's good to sometimes take the opportunity to get that feedback from other people. And lastly is what we call specific goals. A specific goal is, if you're going to give us a specific goal, make sure that you give us a completed time frame, because if you're just going to tell us, I want to make $1 million, how are you going to make that happen? We're not going to believe you. So give us a specific goal with a specific time frame. Okay. Connie, did you hear what we just shared?
No, I'm really sorry. I had to take a phone call quick.
Okay, so Connie, we're gonna share one of the three things. Business share time is you can share one of the accomplishments or a success story, where you can share some of your accomplishment. And second is one of the challenges that you're dealing with. And third is a specific goal with a specific completed time frame. So who wants to start? Normally I would assign somebody, but if anybody wants to start, you can raise your hand. No?
I'll go.
Okay, Jessica, go for it.
So I still have the same goal because I haven't fully reached it yet, but one of my goals is to have three case studies for testimonials with some of the offerings that I have. And then I am realizing that I need to grow in my own systems and processes for how I'm tracking some things. I do this for other people, but sometimes on your own stuff, like it's a little bit different. So I'm realizing that's a growing opportunity for 2022 for where I want to be in my business. I need to handle that. So the success around that is that I invested in a program that's going to help me with my messaging and making sure there's clarity so that I'm getting past this. I'm able to break through with where I need to be from experiences this year.
All right. Well, thank you, Jessica. Who's next? All right. Let me go ahead and assign Ben. You're next.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I would love to share my success story. So as you know, as I said earlier, I'm a 16-year-old entrepreneur. You know, my business is only about 5.5 months old. But I was, I don't want to get, too full of myself, but I'm really proud of what I've been able to accomplish. I mean, being in school, it's really difficult to, bobble academics and friendships and, athletics. I play football and the business as well. And, I just am really proud of what I've been able to accomplish at this age. And, I am very ecstatic about the business that I'm growing and will continue to grow.
All right. Well, that's awesome, Ben. Okay, Rolanda.
So let me see, what are the accomplishments? We were able to successfully get through this year. I think on the property management side, where our properties are pretty much well maintained, we're at full capacity, which was great. One of the current challenges is just keeping vendors on board. Everyone's busy right now. If you think in the construction field, that everyone is just swamped with work. That was one of the challenges. And a specific goal, my goal for next year is to get systems in place and automate as much as we can. And I would think probably by the end of first quarter.
Awesome. All right, Rolanda. Let's go to Christy.
Okay. So I don't really have any success stories since I haven't even got off the ground yet. But I think that my first, I guess, success story is that I even decided to do it and I'm actually pursuing it. So I think that's a success. Challenge would be I struggle with networking and I struggle on camera. Like I get really nervous. I'm super nervous right now. Hands are sweaty. And then I talk too much. And then my goal is to get the business up and going by June of this year, 2022. So that is.
Well, you're doing really, really good, Christy. I mean, this is, we're all in the same, situation, and we're just trying to get to know people. So we're just building friendship and business relationships. So don't feel nervous.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
Right.
being too hard. You're being too hard on yourself.
Yeah. All right, James, your turn. Watson.
Sure. Okay. So success, what I'm proud of is, since I just started my business in June, is the relationships that I've built and developed with, strong networking partners and becoming, part of groups like this. It's really opened my eyes up, even though I've always been in sales and had relationships, but it really has, changed kind of my outlook on how business can get done. I always got it done, but I wish I would have known a lot of things in the past that I have learned now since starting my business and learning from a lot of successful entrepreneurs. And then in terms of challenges, I think it's pivoting from that over into balancing now getting, the business in the door. I focused on the relationships and the networking, which I needed to do. But now I need to, shift over and really manage my time accordingly. And then in terms of goals, objectives, by the end of Q1, I'd like to have, 3 relatively significant consulting assignments in place. Ideally, you always want to have 3 to 4, but I've got some in tow right now, and I'm optimistic about it. So it's going to take a lot of work, but that's the goal.
Awesome. All right, Fu. Fu, are you able to? Fu, I can't hear you. You're on a mute. Fu. All right, Connie, I'm gonna move to you because who couldn't even hear me?
Okay. I think my biggest success this year has been really getting CKM Solutions Group off the ground and getting my nonprofit. That's been a huge success. And my book that's coming out in a couple of weeks is a book I've been wanting to write since I was a FEMA inspector and trainer over 25 years ago. So that's a big success. The vision for me is I'm really ramping up my speaking career side of the business, and I'm 73. In 2 years, I want to be able to turn my business over to the amazing team that has come and helped me with this endeavor. So my goal is to step back and do more speaking and less running the business. The challenges are always money during this time. And when you got a new idea, as many of you know, sometimes it's a little hard to get people to understand exactly how it's going to work for them and why they want to do it. So my tribe for the last 40 years has been the real estate business, and I want to get beyond that because it's perfect and ideal for real estate, but it's also perfect for an entrepreneur in a town. So that's where I am, and I'm really looking forward to 2022.
That is awesome. Thank you. It looks like James is doing multitasking during our meeting here. So we're going to pass. Okay, for me, just want to let you know that I do have a lot of projects that I'm working on. But one thing I am very thankful for is the relationships that I have built over the years. That is one of my success is, being able to make a difference on people's businesses because of all the marketing programs that I have built and all the one-on-one meetings that I've had with people. And I'm very, very thankful for that and for all the relationships that I built. Now, always looking for opportunities to have some partnership alliances with people and to also make sure that the Fire Up Connect is something that we can utilize for expanding your business. I love the format of Fire Up Connect. I have actually benefited from this format in so many ways. I've had projects where they range from $500,000 to $100 million because of the Fire Up Connect. And so if you are really looking for a good networking format, this is one of those formats that you can find out there. I've been in other networking groups like BNI, LATIP. I've been a president for several organizations, and this format is where you can really find opportunities and collaborations. Okay, so all right, James, are you now free to talk, or are you still on a call? No? Okay, so he's still on a call. We're gonna go ahead and move on. So the next part of our meeting is what we call collaboration. Now I'm gonna ask each one of you, Ben, being in this meeting, did you find any kind of opportunities for your business for the people that you've heard today? What are the things that you have seen that that would have worked?
Yeah. I mean, James and I were talking a little bit in the chat. I think that it's great to network with some of these people, and I'd be happy to, get some of your guys' emails and talk more. I mean, I don't know, as of right now, if an opportunity arises, but I mean, there's definitely lots of potential here.
Okay, well, having said that, make sure everybody puts your information on the chat so they'll have an opportunity to connect with you. Okay. All right. What about
would you like me to type my email
go
in?
for it. Go for it. If you guys have the time to do that, go for it. Now, Rolanda, what about you? It looks like you're in the real estate industry. Did you see any opportunity here that you can collaborate, or do you see this this format works for you?
Well, definitely Jessica says she has a referral for me, so I'm excited to hear about that. I am going to drop my email in the in the chat. But it's always great to get to know what others are doing. I consider myself to be a resource for my clients. So sometimes, I just like to be a part of something. And if one of my clients or customers decide, you know, in a conversation or even in networking, I need X, Y, and Z, and I can always say, you know, I've got someone that might be able to help you out.
Okay. All right. What about you, James Watson?
What are we adding to this here? I mean, I listened to what was being said, but,
So we're talking about opportunities. Did you find any opportunities from? your
oh,
people?
okay. Not direct, but, you know, I think there's always opportunities to collaborate, and I'd like to learn more. You know, I've had one-on-one with Jessica and with Fu, just meeting Rolanda, Ben, and Connie. So, you know, I always like to, I think you always, when you go one-on-one later and do a virtual meeting or in person, you learn more about people. And even if it's not a direct connect, it could be a referral over to a networking partner or indirect. So I think it's always good to have that follow-on step and get to know, you don't know what you don't know until you have that meeting.
All right. Jessica, what about you?
This is the fun part for me because I can usually, just start thinking 5 steps out once I hear a little bit about what people are doing. So with Ben, I mean, there's so much to do with hospitality and coffee, and I just need to get a couple more questions answered, and I probably have some introductions I could make. I mean, there's so many places you could go with that. I know of people, I know of roasters and different, yeah, there's several places you could go depending on your goal with it. Rolanda, I do have an intro, but I think it's one of my joys is to actually discover where I could be a resource. Most of the time it is with people that I know, but like James was saying, it's not always about the immediate thing with your business. Sometimes it's something you connect about like personally too. Like Paul's not here tonight, but I found out he likes art and music and dancing and stuff too. And I'm like, oh, cool. So, you know, it's really about the relationships. And Christy, I did miss a little bit about some intros, but I likely have some resources with where you are in your stage of your journey too. So I'd be happy to connect offline. And Connie, well, we're already pals, so.
So Christy, your turn.
I was going to go out of turn really quickly because Rolanda, I mean, maybe you said it before, but are you in residential or commercial investments or both?
Residential and small commercial.
Pardon me?
Residential and small commercial.
And small commercial. Okay, thanks.
Okay, perfect. Christy, what about you?
So for me, I was sitting here and I was listening to Connie and she was talking about Kids for Kids. And it really hit me because I've been looking for something that I could do here in my community, just to kind of give back. So I thought that was a good idea. So I'm going to be looking that up and maybe talk to her some more about that because I'm really excited.
That is awesome, Christy. Okay, Connie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christine. I look forward to talking with you. I did want to offer out to everybody, you've all got small businesses. If there's anything I can do to help you to look at your business to see how you could be better prepared, just reach out to me, okay? And definitely, Rolanda, I want to talk with you. And James, there's several of you that I'd like to have a conversation with. Jessica and I spent quite a bit of time on the phone yesterday, so we've gotten to know each other pretty well. And Jessica, thank you very much for the invitation for this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Connie. Definitely I can see you're blessing a lot of people. Okay, I guess James is busy right now. I actually turned off his video so he can concentrate on what he's doing. But for me, I see that, you know, I get to know what you guys do. Ben, I'm actually very proud of you for being able to create and really moving forward in what you're doing. But you do need to have a lot of people surrounding you to give you a lot of advices because, you know, running a business is not, you know, it's a serious thing. So make sure that you tap into all of the people that you are connecting. take the time to get to know them and take the time to really let them know where you're at with your business so they can give you a lot of information. And Rolanda, I'm in the real estate development projects also. I think that's something that you and I can probably talk more about it. Christy, I'm really excited that you are breaking into the networking. It gets better. This is actually a good platform for you to start, getting that training of networking. We have more members that you will meet if you attend all of our meetings. And it's really amazing the development and the relationship that we have in this group. So if you are interested in being a part of this, I would love for you to join us. And Connie, it looks like you've got a tremendous experience and would love to learn more about you. And maybe we could do a one-on-one meeting. And all of you can actually set up a one-on-one meeting with me and would love to connect with you. James is an amazing person to be connected to because he does have a lot of years of experience. He's part of a company that was very successful and made like into was it like $1 billion company, James? Is that right?
Yeah, well, when I went there, I was there for 18 years and a lot of different roles and leadership roles. But it was like at 100 million when we went there.
$100 million.
They're 2 billion now. They're at $1 billion in ARR when I left.
Okay, there you go. And Jessica is also an amazing person to be connected to. She knows how to get the right target market for you. So very personable. And James is in the PR. That's why he's so busy. He's got lots of clients that he's dealing with. And I'm hoping that, when he's attending here, that he has some time to communicate with us. But I will have my talk with James, with Fu, and hopefully he'll set some time with us. Because, part of what we do here is also understanding the value of your time. I have my time, I value my time, and I'm giving my time to you because I respect your time. So we have to kind of understand that is why we meet and we set aside 1 hour. And I know we're all busy. I'm a busy woman too. I've got a lot of people that I talk to, but I don't get interrupted when I'm meeting with you because I truly respect your time. So just understand that part of our meeting is to also be attentive, 100% attention, because if it's not, then I'm not listening to you and you're not listening to me. And so part of it is all about the relationship. We love to build a good relationship with us. And part of having a good business relationship is having the respect for our time. So just keep that in mind when you're in a meeting. It's good to really understand people have, there's a value attached to their time, and I do respect all of you. Okay, well, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna just ask last comments, feedback about your experience today in our meeting. And I'm gonna start with Rolanda. Rolanda, what is your feedback about your experience in our meeting today?
I think it was great group of people.
All right. And Ben?
Yeah, I think it's very beneficial. I'm great to be a part of this group, and I'm happy to be back in the forthcoming weeks.
All right, awesome. Connie?
It's been really great to meet everybody and hear a little bit more about your stories, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. And Christy?
I actually enjoyed it a lot too, and just listening to everybody and seeing, what potential it has for more knowledge for me to learn.
Awesome. And Jessica?
I make a joke. I half joke that I don't get paid to say anything, but maybe someday I will. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm one of the members of Fire Up Connect. So, what I have found valuable with this is the fact that it is smaller, in the sense that you can have more quality time. You don't feel rushed, and it is very focused so that everyone has a fair opportunity to be present, and you really do become friends and get to know people in a way you couldn't in some of the larger organizations. And we've all been there. And it's been a blessing to have my own personal growth and visibility grow from being visible here and committing and partnering with Marie on some things. So looking back through this year, I'm very grateful that I was able and in a place where I could commit, and now there's a foundation set for me for 2022.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica and James.
Yeah, no, I always enjoy it. And, because of scheduling conflicts, I haven't been able to make the Fridays, but I've been pretty consistent on the Tuesdays. And I enjoy, met a few new people here today, all, very different businesses and different ages. And I think it's great that, Ben, you're starting pretty young. You're ambitious. That's awesome. And like Marie said, you're already taking a good step by getting involved in networking, and you can learn from a lot of other people's mistakes and successes as well. So I think that's cool that you're starting out so young.
Yeah, I would love my son to be like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Anyway, we have 5 minutes left. I just wanted to give you some information about Fire Up Connect. So Fire Up Connect is a membership site. We do have the information in the website that you can check the membership. If you go to fireupconnect.com, you can click on join, and it will give you the 3 layers of membership. You would have a one-on-one meeting with me in regards to how we can promote you within the group and outside the group. We do a lot of community events. We actually do this live seminar every year. I have other projects that I get people involved from Fire Connect to other organizations. My company is called Finest Women in Real Estate. So I bring a lot of women together, and we actually have a project that it's a TV reality show that we're working with the showrunner right now from Viacom, and that's being worked on, and hopefully it's going to be presented next month, and hopefully we'll get some progress on that. So that's one of the projects that we have. We have the radio shows, we have magazine publications, we have TV shows, and so all of those things are available to the members, and that's something that I work with the members. And real estate development project is part of what I do, and so we also try to give that opportunity to the members if they wanted to be involved. But there's a lot of collaborations within the group. The partnerships are amazing. The alliances that are happening here are amazing. So you don't want to lose that opportunity. Make sure that you join us. We have a meeting again. It's going to be Friday at 11 a.m. The connections that we have is so wide that in order for you to tap into those connections is we need to have that relationship, business relation, get to know you. The level of trust has to be there, because it's hard for us to just right away connect and not know you. And because it's also our name, and we need to vet our connections. And that's why when I go, actually, I attended a meeting, another networking meeting, which is a Las Vegas group, and they were already promoting people. And I'm like a little bit worried about that, because I don't know the people that they want me to promote. And so it's not that easy for me to promote somebody when you don't know them. And you have to be the same way, because it's your name. You need to make sure that you have to vet your connections. So this is a good format for you to, get to know people and really understand what are the opportunities you can be a part of, and, where you can find ways to expand your business. Okay. All right. Any questions from anybody here? I'll entertain any questions, and then we can close the meeting after that. We're good?
I want to know what everyone's favorite Christmas present was, if you got something this year.
Yeah.
I got a cool coffee mug from my daughter, one of my daughters.
Nice.
Wow.
I got a coffee mug too.
Okay.
It's
By the
actually a
way,
thermos. It's one that keeps it warm and cold, so I use it a lot.
By the way, Christy, what city are you in?
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs. And what about you, Rolanda?
I'm in San Francisco Bay Area.
Dan, Francisco.
Nice.
All right. Ben, what about you?
I'm from Kansas City, Kansas.
Kansas. All right. Connie, what about you?
Right.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Oh my God. I was just talking about. All right. Jessica
I'm in upstate New York area.
and James.
I am now in Redondo Beach, Southern California, but I'm from the Bay Area. Originally, Rolanda. I was born in Berkeley and grew up in Walnut Creek.
Awesome. Imagine.
Not too far.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I'm still a Niners fan.
And James is doing the radio hosting next month with Fire Up Connect. This is with kcaaradio.com. So make sure that you guys check it out. He will be where we have a LinkedIn page, Facebook groups. So if you can find Fire Up Connect, we also have Instagram. You can find all the information about what's going on with Fire Up Connect. Okay. Anyway, it's 4 o'clock. We are on time. Imagine that. Thank you, everyone. And I hope to see you guys again. Make sure that you connect with all of us. Let me make sure I have my information too. Okay, 951-378-5316 is my phone. And my email is marie@finestwomeninrealestate.com. So feel free to connect with me. All right. Have an amazing week and hope to
Thank
see
you
you.
and Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
Happy New Year.
Year. Enjoy.
Happy New
for being
Year.
here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great rest of your
Bye.
week.